Hello my dearest Momshies and welcome back to Madishkarteng Momshie channel. Have you ever dreamed of creating one of those jaw-dropping restaurant-quality steak dinners right in your own kitchen? You know, the kind you see on high-end menus, where everything looks almost too good to eat. Well, today, we're turning that dream into a delicious reality. Forget the hefty price tag and the reservations, because I'm going to guide you, step by step, through creating an absolutely elegant steak dinner, complete with creamy mashed potatoes and perfectly cooked asparagus. It's a meal that's perfect for a special date night, a celebration, or just for those moments when you want to treat yourself and your loved ones to something truly extraordinary. So grab your aprons and let's get ready to cook up some magic together. First things first, let's talk about our star player, the steak. The secret to a phenomenal steak dinner starts with the right cut of meat. Today, I'm using a beautiful, thick-cut ribeye. Look at this marbling. These little white veins of fat are what will render down as we cook, making our steak incredibly juicy and flavorful. You could also use a New York strip, a filet mignon, or a T-bone. It's all about your personal preference. The most important thing is to choose a good quality, thick piece of meat, at least 1.5 inches thick. This thickness is crucial because it allows us to get that gorgeous dark crust on the outside while keeping the inside perfectly tender and juicy, cooked just the way you like it. Before we even think about turning on the heat, we need to prep our steak. This is a non-negotiable step for a perfect result. Take your steak out of the refrigerator about 30 to 45 minutes before you plan to cook it. Letting it come to room temperature ensures that it cooks evenly from edge to center. If you cook a cold steak, the outside will overcook before the inside even gets warm. While it's resting, let's talk seasoning. We're keeping it classic and elegant. Pat your steak completely dry with a paper towel. This is another key step. A dry surface is what creates that amazing crust we're after. Then season it generously on all sides and, I mean generously, with coarse sea salt and freshly cracked black pepper. Don't be shy here. A thick steak can handle a lot of seasoning. Now, let's move on to our supporting acts, starting with the creamiest mashed potatoes you'll ever have. I am using Yukon Gold potatoes because they have a naturally buttery flavor and a waxy texture that makes for a super smooth mash. I've already peeled and chopped about 2 pounds of potatoes into even-sized chunks. We'll place them in a pot and cover them with cold, salted water. Starting with cold water helps the potatoes cook more evenly. Bring it to a boil and cook until they are fork tender, which usually takes about 15 to 20 minutes. While those are boiling away, let's get our other ingredients ready. For the mash, you'll need some unsalted butter, warm milk, or heavy cream, and a little bit of salt and pepper. Simple, but oh so delicious. Next up, our vibrant and beautiful asparagus. For that fine dining touch, we want our asparagus to be crisped, tender, and bright green. The worst thing is mushy, overcooked asparagus, so we'll be quick. I like to snap off the woody ends. They'll naturally break at the right spot. You can toss them with a little olive oil, salt, and pepper. We're going to cook these in the same pan we use for the steak later on to soak up all those amazing flavors. This is all about layering flavors and making every single component on the plate shine. Prepping everything in advance is the key to a stress-free cooking experience, especially when you're aiming for elegance. So, our potatoes are boiling, our asparagus is ready, and our steak is resting beautifully. It's almost showtime. Alright, our potatoes are perfectly tender. Let us drain them really well and return them to the hot pot for a minute to steam dry. This little trick helps get rid of any excess water, which can make your mash gummy. Now it's time to mash. You can use a potato masher for a more rustic texture or a potato ricer for an ultra silky smooth finish, which is what I'm going for today for that high-end feel. Once they're riced, we'll stir in our softened butter until it's completely melted, then slowly pour in the warm cream while stirring gently. Warming the cream is another secret. Cold liquid can make the potatoes seize up. Season with salt and pepper to taste. Look at that, incredibly smooth, creamy, and decadent. Cover them and set them aside to keep warm. Now for the main event, cooking the steak. Get a heavy-bottomed skillet. Cast iron is my absolute favorite for this, and get it screaming hot over high heat. Add a high smoke point oil like grapeseed or canola oil. You'll know the pan is ready when the oil just starts to shimmer and you see a wisp of smoke. Carefully place your seasoned steak in the pan. You should hear a loud, satisfying sizzle. That's the sound of a perfect crust forming. Don't touch it, don't move it. Let it sear for about 3 to 4 minutes on the first side. This is how we develop that beautiful Maillard reaction, which is where all the flavor comes from. After a few minutes, flip the steak. Look at that gorgeous, deep brown crust. Now, this is where we elevate it. Add a few tablespoons of butter to the pan, along with a couple of crushed garlic cloves and a sprig of fresh rosemary or thyme. As the butter melts and foams, carefully tilt the pan and use a spoon to continuously baste the steak with that fragrant, infused butter. Spoon that liquid gold all over the top of the steak. This not only adds incredible flavor, but also helps to cook the steak gently and evenly. Continue cooking and basting for another 3 to 5 minutes, depending on your desired doneness. For a perfect medium rare, you're looking for an internal temperature of about 130 to 135 degrees Fahrenheit. An instant treat thermometer is your best friend here. Once your steak reaches the perfect temperature, remove it from the pan and place it on a cutting board. Now, this is the hardest part. You have to let it rest. I know it's tempting to cut right into it, but resting is crucial. Let it rest for at least 10 minutes. This allows the juices to redistribute throughout the meat, ensuring that every single bite is tender and juicy. If you cut into it too soon, all those delicious juices will run out onto the board. While the steak is resting, don't let that amazing pan go to waste. Toss your prepared asparagus into the hot pan with all that buttery, garlicky goodness. Saute for just a few minutes until they are crisped, tender, and bright green. They'll soak up all the leftover flavor from the steak. The final, and perhaps most artful, step is plating. This is how we transform a delicious meal into a fine dining experience. First, let's slice our steak. Always slice against the grain for maximum tenderness. Look for the lines running through the meat and cut perpendicular to them. You can see how perfectly cooked it is, a beautiful warm pink center and that incredible crust. To plate, take a generous spoonful of those creamy mashed potatoes and create a beautiful swoosh on the plate. Next, arrange your crisped, tender asparagus alongside the potatoes. Finally, fan out the slices of your perfectly rested, juicy steak right on top. For an extra touch of elegance, you can drizzle a tiny bit of the remaining pan juices over the steak. And there you have it, Momshies. An absolutely stunning, elegant steak dinner that looks like it came straight from a 5-star restaurant, made with love, right in your own kitchen. We have our perfectly seared, juicy ribeye, the creamiest mashed potatoes, and vibrant, crisp asparagus. This is a meal that's guaranteed to impress. It's proof that you, Dan T, need to go out to have an unforgettable dining experience. Thank you so much for joining me in the kitchen today. I hope this inspires you to create your own special moments. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe to Madishkarteng Momshie channel for more delicious recipes. Let me know in the comments what you'd like to cook together next. Until then, happy cooking!